Hello, everybody, and welcome to Behind the Lens. I am here with three director cinematographers from the Algonquins TV program, and we're going to take a look at some of their works, maybe what they learn, and how they shot it, and then we'll have a good conversation. I'm here with Salah.
Hi, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me. I'm Salah, videographer, cinematographer. I have my last work is the Buck Hill Road Encounters, the Buck Hill Road, and I'm happy to be part of this.
Thank you. And this is Kenya.
Hi, I'm Kenya. I'm happy to be a part of this. I was the writer and director for Rinse and Repeat for our first year student film.
And this is Alex.
Hi, my name is Alex Lacourcière. I don't know what camera to look at, but yeah, I'm the director, producer, writer for Balls Deep, which was the short film, same as Kenya's, that was produced last year.
Okay, so we're going to be looking at Balls Deep, which is Alex's first project?
No, I've worked on other short films before.
Okay. We'll look
But
at
it's first one that worked, you know?
Okay.
You gonna finish that?
Straight up? Nah.
Take a walk, Rose. You know who I am?
You're E-Daddy, biggest music producer in town.
Yeah, and what are you? A janitor that can't even clean up a pathetic subway table, let alone a shitter in a washed-up factory?
Nah, that ain't it, sir. I'm an artist. I don't clean seats. I make beats.
Well, you know what? Why don't you come by the studio and we'll actually see what you can do. I want your best beat, Friday. Let's go.
Most definitely, sir.
Yeah, well, I'll see you then.
This is my moment. My anything, my everything. The sheep has just been lured in my cage, and it's time for the lambs to go to slaughter. Metaphorically, I think.
Guess I'll be singing around then.
So, are you signed under him?
I was. I'm a drummer, but my crew fell apart and E-Daddy only signs bands. Who knows? Maybe you and I will play together one day.
Damn.
Alex, we just took a look at Balls Deep when you were in the subway. Can you talk a little bit about how you shot that?
Yeah, I think I'll start first with the legal battle I will face, coming clean that it was shot in a subway, which I did not get permission to do. I went to the day manager on the day of the shoot, and we were trying to find somewhere that would look like it. We went to a ton of different restaurants, and Subway was the only one that said, yeah, you can shoot here, as long as you don't show our logo, don't show any employees or customers, and be done in 20 minutes. You'll notice there's no extra lighting in this scene because we had to run and gun it, but I did eventually break the rules they set out for me because we were shooting at 1 a.m. in a 24-hour subway. So I figured I was pretty safe from things, although I did just confess on the hot mic, so.
Get him.
This scene was a bit of a challenge to shoot, especially because we did have the restrictions on the set and the lighting. But what I wanted to focus on more so than the lighting and the technical aspects was the way that the actors and the characters were moving through the scene. Because I couldn't show the entire backdrop, we had to use, we kind of forgave or didn't use the 180 rule, and I just started kind of shooting and letting my actors do the scene once and letting them get comfortable with it, and then going with it. Our boom operator had the longest pole ever, and they were just getting it from the back of the thing or pressed up against the counter as someone was getting their sandwich made, so it was a little uncomfortable. But it made it so that we could shoot it in a way that the actors felt comfortable taking chances on lines and moving through. So there was very minimal crew. You actually see most of the crew in the background who are pausing. But yeah.
And what would you say is like your biggest lesson from this scene in particular?
Your attitude when you are shooting something, when you are managing people, is the most effective way that you can control the outcome of a scene. This scene had certain parameters that are gonna escape us no matter what. There is no additional lighting. We have only one chance at the sound, which is the boom mic, and we only have crew also are very tired because they had a very long day. And I'm very grateful for them just sticking around the whole time. Staying calm, using very persuasive language and being exactly as clear as you can be under duress is the only thing that's going to save you in that instance. It is character entirely. I don't think that I had it when I started, but by the end of it, I think I developed some kind of, rapport with the actors, and they were like, all right, we get what this guy's gonna do.
Would you have done anything differently if you had shot Balls Deep again?
Yes. Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yes.
Are we assuming it's the same zero budget?
Yes, zero budget.
Okay. I would have entrusted a camera operator way more, because having to direct and shoot the scene in one person with very minimal crew and with a time pressure, it did not avail itself to the best filming circumstances for our crew and for our cast. And I think definitely overall, I would have just honed in on the fact that preparation is key when you have no budget, and keeping your actors fed, which was pretty easy to do when there was a Subway right there, really helps. If everyone's full and they're happy to be on set and they understand what the vision of the scene is, then yeah, it'll all flow.
So the answer is always more pre-production.
More food, more calmness, and good vibes.
You said you had like limited time to do that one because they were kind of kicking you out. If you were to have lit that, like had more time to light it, how do you think you would have done it with like the overhead, everything like that?
Yeah, so the fluorescents were pretty green tinted, and you can see that in the thing. It's also green walls, so I would have definitely pumped some more magenta to balance that out. And then I think if I'd done that, I would have tried to add in more darkness into the frame, either through blocking or through just trying to position the characters in the way that they can have more dark spots on their face, because it's very flat. It is not very great. And then what else happened is that in this scene, in contrast to the rest of the film, is very bright, and the rest of the film is not necessarily shot in that way. And so this scene specifically stands out as like very flat, very colorless, like very colorful, whereas the other ones were much deeper and much more orange. So I would have definitely tried to make it sync more with the rest of the film.
Okay, the next clip we're going to be watching is Rinse and Repeat, which is Kenya's film that was also produced at the same time as Balls Deep. Let's take a look.
So I was thinking maybe we could watch La La Land?
No.
Okay, what about The Notebook?
No, that's a really girly movie and I'm just not into that.
Okay, then you think about the movie, I can tend to the fire.
No. That's a guy's job, and like, I'm a big strong man and I gotta do it, so. Yeah, I think we should watch Fast and Furious. It's a real movie. None of that La La Land crap. And look at me go. You could not do this. I'm making a great fire right now. Just put this in the fire right there. Pretty fucking awesome fire that I'm building. Yeah, that's really good. I really like that.
Well,
Yeah.
that was great. I always come back to that film because I think it was very like contrasty and very like shot very well. There were so much shadows in that scene. How did you light that scene?
The one where, do you mean the one where he's being dragged or the first one?
The first one where he's in the fire.
The first one was really, really difficult to light, actually. It took us probably like 2 or 3 hours to get that whole scene correct. From what I remember, when we first started, we had the light from the back that sort of acted as a hair light for both of them. We didn't really need to put any practical light in there because that was already there. And then we just had one aperture light, I think, in front of them that was set to like a cooler tone to sort of match the one in the back. And then, so that was a pretty basic setup, but what was really fun was when we had him in the fireplace. We had one of the Lume Cube LED panels, like this big, cranked it up to like 100, had the
Like fire setting?
Yeah, we had like a fire
Yeah.
setting where it like flickered, and this was shot in my house, so we just opened my fireplace and threw that light in there. Yeah, I think it worked out pretty well because it looked natural for a fire. And then the scene afterwards where he's being dragged through the hallway, I'm pretty sure we had somebody walking with a light over top of him as he was moving so that the light would stay consistent. So there's a lot of moving parts in scenes like that.
How much pre-production went into that? Did you just wing it day of, or did you like storyboard it out?
That scene was very late at night and shot many times. We had storyboarded it a little bit, and then the way that we had initially started it didn't work out. It looked really flat, and I think we first started by putting a Dracast light in the fireplace, but it was way too big and you could fully see it. So it was winging it in the end because a lot of what we had initially started with just didn't look the way we wanted it to. But I like the way that we did it. I think it looked pretty natural.
Anyone else?
I just want to say I've noticed that you used foreground and depth really well in this. There's a lot of stuff happening in front of you, but there's also stuff happening behind you. How did your actors handle that? Were they getting what you were trying to put down when you were communicating the scene, or what did you have to explain, or did they understand when they saw it at the end?
It was pretty difficult actually I'm not very good at articulating what I'm trying to say, so it was pretty difficult to get them to understand how we were going to do it until I sat down. I was like, okay, everybody, you stand here, you stand there. And the way that we had done the camera angle for him being in the fireplace, I think we just piled a bunch of blankets in front of it and set the camera on an upwards angle so that it got right in his face. But once we practiced it a couple times, the two of them were really good at understanding how it was supposed to be done. My favorite part about that, my favorite story to tell every time I talk about different shots I've done, is Haley, the actor who is hitting Brett, is actually so far away from him. She's probably 6 or 7 feet behind him, because she was actually holding a real fire poker and we didn't actually want her to bludgeon him. So yeah, the focal length that we use, I don't know what the correct term for it is, a compression sort of shot. But I think it turned out really well. There was a lot of tweaking with that, but it was really fun to try to practice that out because she was honestly all the way over there, but it looks like she's right behind him.
Yeah, it really does.
And then with the sound effects in post, it all kind of came together really well that it looked pretty real.
So if you had to shoot that scene again, what would you do differently, if anything?
I think the main thing that I noticed the second we watched the clip, like I said, the practical light from the lamp in the back, I think I would find a different lamp, find anything else, because it was like an exposed light bulb in a glass container. So I feel like now when I watch it back and I'm trying to see the two actors, all I see is that exposed light bulb in the back. So
more diffusion,
yes.
Maybe a lampshade.
Yeah, a
nice.
lampshade. I'm pretty sure we had gone throughout my house looking for different lighting fixtures that we could use, but nothing was tall enough. So it worked well as a practical, but that's definitely one thing that I would change, is as I was watching it over, I was like, man, you can really see that.
Yeah, I have a question actually. I have noticed that all the actors' movements are synchronized with the camera movement. This is a very amazing shot, especially the first one, when they enter the frame and then he goes on this side, the camera follows a little bit. We have 2 shots in one shot. So was it did you created that with the actors? Did you rehearse that before, or it's just it was decided on spot?
We rehearsed it a few times, and then the actual take, I would need to ask some of my crew what the actual number was, but it was upwards of 20 times that we shot that scene, because
That's
trying to
amazing.
get the sort of movement correct.
Exactly.
It had started out, I think we started out doing it handheld and then realized it just didn't look right because they kind of come down off a step. So we sort of had to follow them down through that. And we also needed to reshoot it multiple times because the dialogue was improv. We had no idea what he was going to say. Every time he said it, he said something outlandish. So
is there a funny line that you can share with us?
Oh yeah,
other takes?
Our favorite was he didn't know what to say. It was one of our first takes where he gets down in the fireplace and she's like, oh, let me help you. And he's like, no, it's a man's job. And then he starts and he turns back around and goes, it's a job for a man. And he wanted to get the line in there twice. And I remember we had to cut for a solid 5 minutes because we were all in tears laughing at his improv. I think it was his acting debut, so great job, Brett. But yeah, probably upwards of 20 times that we had to retake that. But I feel like once we got the camera movement down, I really liked the way it turned out.
Yeah, amazing shot. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so next and lastly, we're going to be looking at Buck Hill Road, who was directed and cinematography by you?
Yeah, produced, directed, and also edited.
Wow. And that was produced not at the same time as these. When was this produced?
Yeah,
Last
it was
semester?
produced on the third semester as the Factual Entertainment Show assignment. And yeah, it was like, actually it was an old idea I had, because like when I came here in Canada, I was like looking for some crispy horror idea I can produce for further shows. So I love horror movies and horror like shows and paranormal stuff. I'm more into the when you, for example, you turn on Netflix on my TV, all the recommendations are like ghosts, paranormal, zombies, ghosts, paranormal, like so. Yeah, so I
So that's
had
where
the
you
idea.
found your inspiration for Buck
Exactly.
Hill Road?
Yeah. I was looking for some kind of folkloric ideas, and I think Buck Hill Road is one of the most folkloric TV ideas I can have. So I decided to do that with the team, and I told the team about the idea. They were okay, let's do it, and yeah. So there you
All
go.
right, let's take a look.
Sure.
Heard and felt. It was enough to bring us back the next day, determined to push further. Our plan? To perform the ritual that so many have spoken about. We parked our cars facing the hill. We honked 3 times. And called out, Daddy, 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 help me,
Help me.
help me, help me. And so we waited. One hour passed.
Okay, so that was a clip of Buck Hill Road.
Yeah.
I saw you had the camera kind of outside of the car. Was there some like suction cup device? Like,
Yeah.
how did you get that shot?
It was a GoPro I got from Lionel.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately it was shot during dark time, during late hours, and there is some kind of pixelation on the camera. But yeah, I think it was a cool shot because at the same time it shows like how it shows the preparation of the team on going on the road, and after that I used the same camera to put it on inside the car to get like a shot of Aldo and me, and yeah.
So when you guys pull up to that fence and you guys all stand out there, how did you think about lighting that beforehand?
Okay, first thing, I had that Western cowboy shot in my mind. You know, like I was thinking about creating some kind of, I don't know if you know the term Western spaghetti, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so it was like all shot in slow motion, and then I decided which shot I will keep in slow motion, which shots I will like put it on normal speed, and then it had that kind of, you know, like as if you have 3 heroes standing and they are gonna like confront that ghost and this kind of stuff. So
It's the Avengers shot.
yeah, exactly.
So the inspiration was westerns.
Cowboys, yeah.
You like horror as well as westerns?
Yeah, for sure. But you know that all like even the choice of the music, it goes with, you know, the country
Yeah,
music.
yeah, it does.
It goes with the image. So yeah, there's
I like
kind of
the
inspiration.
combination of
Thank you.
Western music and
Thank you.
horror scenes.
Yeah, it feels like a very synthesized like lifestyle show. It's like very
Yeah.
much in the.
Yeah, I also had like there's a show, there's a movie. Sorry, it's The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's a very old movie, and there is that iconic scene when they were waiting for a guy to come in the train. The scene went for more than 7 minutes, and you know, for 7 minutes there's nothing happening, just people waiting. But the director was smart enough, and the editor was like amazingly skilled to let you be hooked for 7 minutes just seeing bored people for just 7 minutes doing nothing. I tried to get some inspiration from that scene because like we were waiting for 3 hours, you know, we're waiting to see some light, something happening, you know.
Wow.
So for 3 hours we've been waiting, so I tried to recreate that kind of, you know,
That
scene.
anticipation.
Exactly, yeah.
That like boredom, but also like keeping the
Exactly.
audience interested.
Exactly.
I mean, 3 hours in a car with Aldo is my dream, so I'm very jealous.
Yeah, but it was a -16, I think.
Oh my
It
god.
was
Yeah, it was
-16.
freezing, yeah.
That's crazy.
It was freezing.
So when you guys get out of the car, you're only illuminated by kind of that car headlights.
Exactly.
There's no like lights.
No.
So you guys are literally just silhouettes.
Yeah, I don't know if you have noticed it, but there is some kind of mud on the ground. I use that as a reflection, you know, because like when you just use the car light, it's gonna be a flat surface. There's no reflection on the camera toward the camera. So I placed the cars behind the big like watery surface to get that, you know, that it looks like as if it's a mirror or something like that.
And that was just on the spot. Like
Yeah.
you obviously couldn't have planned that.
No, for sure, yeah.
But like that just takes some like next level
Wow.
thinking to
Yeah.
just like
I was like doing some kind of like location scouting, you know, like we just put the car in a different spot, and then we were like, okay, what we are gonna do here? What do we have? We have a fence, we have like some water on the ground, we have no lights, so we need probably some broadcast light and the car light to get like that natural backlight. And
Yeah. Wow. Any other questions?
What do you think makes a good ghost story?
What? Okay, so I think first thing it needs to be, it needs to feel realistic. Like it needs to be something you will believe in it. You know, you say this thing can happen to anybody. You know, it's not like some kind of witch story or I don't know, like Frankenstein or something needs to happen. Like for example, a guy died in a horrible car accident, and his spirit, like when you go to that road, you hear something or you see, like, this thing can happen to anybody. You know. So yeah, to in response to your question is, you need first thing to not be a believer, but open your mind to all the stories, because like a lot of guys will come to you and they will ask, they will tell you like stories, and you need to have that mindset. You know, it can be true. So let me invest myself on that story.
So my question is, Buck Hill Road is obviously about a ghost.
Yeah.
Did you believe it?
Actually, we were there, all the team, and you can ask Shushi, she's here. Like there was some kind of crazy stuff happening there. Like if you were wearing the headset, you will be hearing like some kind of noises in the bushes. At a certain time, there is like I cut a lot of stuff on the video. All our equipment, imagine like we were in the middle of nowhere. There is no power sources, so we were using batteries. All the cameras, all the lights.
And one of her equipment
One of her equipments went off at the same time.
died.
Oh,
Like
wow.
there is no explanation on that.
That's
you know.
crazy.
Everything went total shutdown. You know.
That's crazy.
For 2 minutes or more than 2 minutes, then even like the recording, the mixer, it was like out at the same time. Like there is no explanation of that. So yeah, that made you think maybe it can be
So
true.
you don't not believe it.
Let's say 50-50.
Okay, okay.
Do you think?
Okay, well, I think that's it for now. Maybe we'll see you guys again and we'll make another episode. Thank you guys for watching. This is Behind the Lens.
Yay!
Okay.